The race for the White House really comes down to a handful of key swing states, and one of them, Paul Ryan's home state of Wisconsin. So could the Ryan pick move Wisconsin, which is traditionally Democratic, into the red? And could that swing the race for Romney? For more on this, let's bring in Ron Brownstein, ABC contributor and National Journal editorial director, who is in Washington. Ron, great to see you this morning. And I know you heard John Karl and George Stephanopoulos earlier. Is this now much bigger than just the state of Wisconsin? Do you agree with them?
Yeah, clearly. This is a pick with national implications. I think we have to be careful. In the end, the top of the ticket really does dominate the race, and I think that will be true here. But by picking Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney has put himself, kind of irrevocably attached himself to the Ryan budget, which, as we said, is very controversial. I mean, part of the issue for the Ryan budget is that it is doing two things simultaneously. It's imposing big changes on Medicare and Medicaid at the same time that it is extending tax cuts for the affluent down to 25% as a top marginal rate, the lowest since the 1930s. And doing those two things together, as we saw in 1996, can sometimes go together politically like whiskey and Seconal. It's a hard sell to make both of those cases at the same time. And I think that it's going to elevate that issue, which, as everybody has said, the Obama campaign is very anxious to engage.
So much of this is based on entitlement programs now. But do you think that fiscal policy, the big core of this issue now going forward, the platform for Romney and Ryan take it, is that going to be enough momentum to win over more in the national vote?
You know, it's interesting because I think that the biggest applause for Ryan today, not surprisingly, were on the broad ideological statements. But that last sliver of voters who usually decide presidential elections are pretty non-ideological. They're mostly focused on results and who they think will make their lives better. The other tension here is that the modern Republican agenda is very focused on constraining these entitlement programs, so you convert Medicare into a premium supporter voucher program. But their vote today is increasingly dependent on older and blue-collar whites who are pretty reluctant to change those middle-class entitlements. So that tension could be an interesting dynamic to watch through November.
Interesting to note that Republicans last year didn't exactly embrace the Ryan plan either, so we'll have to see how that shift is going to affect it all. All right, Ron, we appreciate you joining us this morning.